This is Professor Tommy Demos, and today I will be demonstrating laser beams. There's going to be a lot of Star Wars related things in this class. I'm going to open up an existing project. It's in Chapter 6 of HTCAE, Chapter 6, and we're going to get laser beams and open that. Hit OK. All right, so there's this beam layer. It's a white solid right there. See that? I can turn it off and on with the visibility here. I'm going to add an effect called beam to that layer. Notice I don't drag things, I don't drag effects to the comp panel because I don't know which layer I'm dropping it on. So to be precise, you drag it to the correct layer and we get this red beam. Now that doesn't look like much right now. If I just let it play, nothing happens. So this is just a red line. And we're going to have to change the parameters in order to make this thing look like it's coming out of that gun turret. So look at these parameters here. Where do you think the laser beam starts? Starting point. How about like at the tip of the gun turret, right? And where does the laser beam end? How about like at the planet because they're shooting Alderaan or whatever? Okay. So now at least the beam is headed in the right direction. That's a starting point and ending point. Now you would think that in order to make this beam move, you would have to animate its position, but you'd be wrong. What you actually have to animate is time. See this? So the beam moves by animating time. Also, we need to change the starting thickness to be thicker, and maybe the ending thickness is thinner. And now we have some perspective here. See that? That looks a little more realistic. I'm okay with the color the way it is. Maybe the ending thickness is a little bit more than that, and then it will last less time. So notice that scrubbing the timeline doesn't make the laser beam move. What makes the laser beam move is animating this time property. Now, we could also do length. So if we don't want it to be so long, we can do something like that. Okay, so let's say that that's what we want. We're going to have to move its anchor point there. There we go. How's that looking on the planet end? It's all right. All right, so let's animate this thing. So we'll go to the beginning. Time is going to be at 0. How long is it going to take for that laser beam to get to the planet? 4 seconds? Jeez. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. I think it can go faster. How about 1 second? All right, let's try that. So we'll put the plate at the beginning. We're going to hit the stopwatch on time. We're going to go to the 1 second mark, and we will increase time. Boom. That's it. It sort of went behind the planet, which looks fake. Maybe we should put the beam above the planet, or maybe we should put the planet below the beam. Ooh, it's locked. See this lock? We're going to unlock everything, take that planet and move it below the beam. And now at least the beam looks like it's entering the atmosphere or something. All we have to do is change, if we go back to the beam, change the end point, and we could say that it goes right there. There you go. Let's see what happens if I turn on motion blur. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I'm going to turn on motion blur both for the layer and for the comp. It's got to be here and here, and I do see it's doing something. See that? That looks a little more realistic. And then, of course, the beam doesn't quite disappear all the way. So what would you do? opacity. You can just change its opacity, right? So we could say U. U is the Uber key. It shows all animated parameters. Also notice that the time got to 99%. What if I made it 100? Maybe it'll disappear. Let's try that. Nope, still there. So let's change its opacity. So we'll hit the beam, hit T for opacity, hit the stopwatch. It's at 100% right now. By the time it gets to here, it's going to be at 0. Done. That's it. You can add your little sound effects if you want. What if I wanted to make another one like that? Do I have to do it all over again? Just duplicate it. Command D. Select the layer, Command D, and we'll call this one the right beam. And maybe this one is the left beam. And then we pick up that left beam. And we say starting point is here. And ending point is here. Let's see what happens. Ooh, now it's a double beam. You could also do the same thing, duplicate those two and throw them back here and make them blue, right? What if we wanted to do that? Yeah. So let me duplicate the right beam, and we'll call this the back right beam. And then we'll move that sucker. Starting point there, and ending point there. And what about changing the color? Inside color is a light pink currently, so why don't we change it to a light blue? And then the outside color will be a dark blue. Now I got a blue laser. And then we could, of course, do the same thing. Duplicate this and call this back left beam. And then change its starting point to here and change its ending point to over here. Get it? Piece of cake. File. Save as. Go to your hard drive. MDC. DIG. In-class exercise. This one is number 7. And we will call it last name, first initial, E7 laser beams.